Hey guys, so we just finished up another week of training, kind of this base building phase, and it's the highest mileage week I've had since March apparently, and that doesn't account for the time spent in the pool or lifting either, which I didn't really do a ton of then. So yeah, highest mileage week in a while, and it felt great. All right. So yeah, it's the highest volume week we've had in months. We hit a grand total of 38 miles trained last week, 38.8, with just a hair over 6.5 hours, which just in time, and that includes the swimming and the lifting and all the other stuff we do. That's a lot more than I've been doing for a while, especially consistently. So, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. In the grand scheme of things, my foot and my calf are holding up fine. I feel good. I don't feel like I'm really dragging too bad. I did accidentally blow my mileage budget a little bit this week. Just tacking on an extra mile here or there at the beginning of the week, and then at practice on Saturday, ended up getting about 4 miles, kind of running around talking to one client and the other. Had multiple groups of people and individuals out at the lake. And I counted that because every step counts, and you don't want to be running and have it not account for it, and that way you make sure you're not being dumb and going way over your mileage budget. And so while I originally a couple weeks ago had planned on doing a 12-mile run this weekend, between blowing my mileage budget and being tired because it was the highest volume week in a while, just ran an easy 9 miles, and those last 2 miles were pretty, they were work. So, and that's about where it should be, is those last couple miles should be work. I could tell the mechanics were starting to go, the core was getting tired, and I think I was able to do that and get away with it as my long run, even though it was just over an hour. But it was about 50% longer than my next longest run over the course of the week. It was about a quarter of my total volume for the week, and we hit, we were tired when we started, and especially when it comes to your long run, part of the reason of the first chunk of the run, it's there simply to burn up glycogen. Hey Jack, you gonna say hello? It's there to kind of burn up some of those fuel reserves so we can get to the point to where we're getting the stimulus to get our body better at utilizing fat as a fuel to stimulate more mitochondrial production and build more capillary beds, et cetera, et cetera. And so if you're tired when you start, you don't necessarily have to do as much to get to the point where you're tired, especially if you do it kind of before breakfast, because I hadn't really eaten a whole lot before I started, so I didn't have a ton of blood sugar kind of in the system. Like I ate a banana as I was heading out the door and took 1 scoop of Tailwind with me. So in the grand scheme of things, it worked out pretty well. So let's get into the nitty gritty of it, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Time-wise, this week, that was the week we're on vacation. We weren't getting as many miles in. We're at the beach. We didn't swim. We didn't lift. We didn't really do much. This Saturday was the day that we had that run-in with heat stress. So we took Sunday off on the way home, and then this past week, that's where we got so much work in. It was a little over 6.5 hours, mostly running. We got about only 36 minutes of swimming. I must have recorded something wrong because I'm pretty sure I swam twice. But if we look at the training log, Strava is awesome, by the way. You don't have to have a paid subscription. I use the free service. But yeah, I guess I did only swim once. That's right, I didn't swim on Tuesday like I had planned. But I was able to lift twice, so that was good. So by the time we got around to, we started off with just an easy 10K Monday morning, and it was nice and cool out. It felt all right. Felt like I was working harder than I was, but I think it was because I was dehydrated. Kind of just ran across town around one of the elementary schools and back. But if you look at the heart rate, in general, I mean, it goes up again, at the beginning, like it normally does. Almost all of my runs have this profile where I leave the house, and I'm assuming my watch was not reading right there, but it gets up to like 175, 180, and then my heart rate it kind of hit the spot and I'm able to kind of roll with it. It normally doesn't take that long, but and then it kind of evens out to wherever it is I'm working. And here I had to wait for a train or something. But the heart rate was fairly low for most of it, but I think I was just kind of dehydrated. But it felt pretty good. On Tuesday, we did a little bit of a recovery run, just some easy miles down at the loop around the track. It's flat, it's grassy, and then in the afternoon we lifted. It wasn't a ton of volume per se, but we did some squats and some bench press. And we did some other ancillary lifts as well, but I didn't want to go too hard because I knew at 5 o'clock the next morning I was going to be doing some 300s. I did my 300s by myself. I had another runner come out, and he ran the first one or two with me, but he was running a different pace, different interval, that kind of thing. But they were pretty good. I had set out to, after the previous interval workout I had done with Troy a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to keep these right at 60 seconds, not really try to crush them. That way I don't feel like I've been hit by a truck. We pushed too hard the first day back. So I was like, we're going to try to hit right about 60 seconds. And we were consistently between, 55 and 57 on all of them. They felt good. On the first couple, I took 2 minutes rest because, that's kind of what I had planned. And then after that, when I was doing them by myself and Dallas wasn't running with me, I dropped them down to a minute and a half worth of rest. Because quite frankly, I knew I was only going to be doing 6 of them. So I didn't need a ton of recovery between them. But as you can see, we hit them, 56, 57, 56, 55, 56, and the last one was a 54. So it was a little quick, but you can see the heart rate didn't get too out of control on any of it, and overall it felt pretty good. I think I'm happy with it. So we did some striders beforehand. So we did 6 striders, 6 300s, and so it ended up being about a mile and a half of quote unquote speed work. And it felt pretty good. And the next day was Wednesday, and it was supposed to be a recovery workout, but it was one of those really beautiful days out. Rarity here in Louisiana in the summer. It was like 75, overcast, a little bit of a breeze, and man, I just wanted to keep going. I just wanted to run forever that day. But I knew it was a recovery day. I was only supposed to do 3 according to the schedule. I ended up doing 4. And part of that was because I went out to do it. One of my other buddies, Prasant, was out there on the grass getting his 10 miles in, and I really wanted to just keep going with him, but I know better. I was disciplined, I was smart, and I cut it at 4 miles, so I got like an easy half hour, and then I went to the pool and did my pool work. Friday was supposed to be an easy mileage day. We had done a recovery workout the day before on Thursday. So Friday we came around, we're just getting some easy miles in. We ran an easy 5 miles. Kept the pace fairly smooth, fairly in control. The heart rate didn't get too out of whack. We averaged 156. And again, you can see we got that big jump at the beginning. And then it just dropped all of a sudden. I don't know. I'm assuming that's a technical watch issue thing there. Because it's not like I stopped at that part of the run. I was running down the hill and all of a sudden my watch started to read correctly or something. But then we just kept it right and smooth, right in the lower to mid 150s. I'm not quite as low as I'd like it, but for an easy day, kind of fit the bill. And then when we got back, we did the upgraded ballista routine, kind of helped work some of the kinks out of the hips. Because Wednesday morning, as I was doing that last 300, I remember that my left glute and hamstring, I could tell that my SI joint was slightly out of whack or something after being in the car for so long this week. Again, part of the reason I only did 6 of them. But so did the ballista workout when I got done running. That way we kind of make sure everything was in alignment in the hips and kind of get the glutes firing correctly. And then Saturday I was out at Lincoln Parish Park. We had practice going at 7 a.m. for the Couch 5K group. Personal training and coaching clients, as well as the Tuesday, Thursday training group. So I was kind of juggling a whole bunch of runners at the same time, checking in with some personal training clients who are out there walking. So I ended up not really running a workout per se. I really did kind of 3 10-minute runs, kind of broken up. And as much as I hate the term, these are probably pretty close to junk miles. And then I think this is where I really blew my mileage budget for the week. Not that I didn't need to do it, because it's part of my job, checking in with clients. But I think from a training perspective for myself, it would have been better if I could have done just on the long run I had originally. I don't normally like the term junk miles, but I think these qualify as junk miles because you can kind of see if we turn on the heart rate line here. Like there was one run around to catch somebody, and then I stopped to talk to him. Then we ran a little more to catch up with somebody else, stopped to talk to them. Then we're kind of running back and forth, going some different directions, stop to walk a little bit, run with somebody a little bit, and the pace really slows down. And so it's not like there's a real rhyme or reason to it. It wasn't a workout. It was me just kind of getting in some easy-ish miles. But our heart rate didn't get too high on any of it, so that's good. We did do a full dynamic warm-up ahead of time, though, so that was good. Kind of worked kinks out of the calf, and that felt pretty good. And then Sunday. So on Sunday, we came back around, did our long run. We did it, left from the house, went to the loop. I didn't get out super early. Probably would have been better if I could have gotten out earlier. But it was a pseudo-fast long run. Like I snagged a banana on my way out the door and then put 1 scoop of Tailwind into my handheld. I did have a cup of coffee, as I kind of woke up and just kind of like sat in the recliner and checked the email, that kind of stuff before going. Probably should have had more water though. You can see here on Sunday we started at the house, and we kind of ran through the neighborhood like we normally do, and then we were just on the grass around the track. So the track for tech is about right here. So you can see the track is right there. And so, yeah, we spend a lot of time doing recovery runs on the grass around there because it's pretty flat, obviously. And, yeah, but so it was a pseudo-fasted long run. Probably should have had some more water. But I was kind of rushing to get it in. My wife wanted to go for a walk at the park, take the kiddo out there, which is great. Ended up meeting up with some other runners I hadn't talked with in a while. Kind of, a couple of dads that were hanging out with their kids while their wives ran and walked. And it was a good time. Kids got to play together. Dads kind of hung out on the playground. And, yeah, it was a good day. But the run over here, the last couple miles, by the time we got to about 6.5, 7, you kind of see where the heart rate jumped a little bit right there. I'd be willing to bet that's the spot where I started kind of feeling like I was working. And you kind of see there's like kind of a slow, gradual rise. And that probably is going to coincide with the temperature going up over the course of the run. Since I started at 6:37 in the morning, so by the time we get, half an hour into the run, it's a little after 7, sun's coming up, it's pretty humid because we live in Louisiana, and so as that kind of perfect storm kind of part of the day of the heat is creeping up and up by the minute, and it's not burning off the humidity yet, and it can be more and more and more work to stay cool. So part of the reason why I did the majority of that long run on the grass around the loop, with its flat and soft, was because I knew it was going to be the highest volume week in a while, and I'd kind of blown my mileage budget, and I could tell my legs were a little tired. And so by putting a little bit of that extra miles in on a soft surface that was fairly flat, I would be limiting the risk of just having to eat the impact of my calf and my foot, with that eccentric load that you would get running on concrete or asphalt. But, so that's kind of what the week looked like, and overall, I think it went pretty good. I'm feeling good. I got some extra sleep this weekend. Kind of got caught up after, being a little short on sleep in the middle of the week. Got caught up on sleep, got some extra miles in, got the cross training in. The nutrition's getting cleaned up here a little bit, and I think that's kind of where we need to be. Because, yeah, unfortunately, you can't out-train a bad diet. So, good nutrition, good training, good sleep, so we're getting good and recovered. And, yeah, I think we made some smart calls this week. We didn't get too greedy. And now the trick is going to be not getting greedy as we continue moving forward, because now I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel kind of like I'm back in the swing of things, because the volume is kind of back up, in the quote unquote normal range for me. Get 6.5 hours plus a week of time spent training. And I'm starting to feel kind of like my normal self. I'm not hurt. I'm training a decent amount. I'm sleeping more. And the energy levels are coming up because the nutrition's getting cleaned up. But if I jump it too hard, too fast, I'm going to get hurt. So I need to make sure I'm disciplined over the next few weeks and let my body really adjust to kind of being back at this, quote unquote normal here, training levels, and stay there for a little bit and let the body kind of adjust and adapt, because fundamentally I'm deconditioned and intellectually I know that. However, I feel good and running fast is fun. So hopefully I can follow rule number 2 and not do anything stupid. So follow along. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell down here. Tell your friends about it. Follow along, and it'll be lots of fun. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you also get the training talks and demos that come out every week as well, whether it's drills or lifting technique or just coaching philosophy. And hopefully that's something you can translate to your own training. So, until next time, train smart.